Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Pleb League PC Mini-Season 2 Playday number 1. My name is Sticula, and I'll be your host tonight as I walk you through our very first game of Season 2. In this inaugural matchup, Team N takes on Season 1's returning champions of Okami Gaming to decide who will take the lead in the standings. This match serves as a test of Okami's skill, especially after encountering a few different roster changes, and now coming back with a new, fresh lineup. This is really going to be, I think, the turning point for them. Will they see... we'll have to be right back. Quick break while we fix some technical errors. Welcome back, everybody. We should be getting underway just now with the game. Apologies for that little bit of an interruption there. We had a couple issues, and so we had to sort that out. But we should be good to go now for the match. So this is my return to solo casting. It's been a little bit of a break I have had. Duo casting is fun and all, but solo casting can be kind of a different beast because it's mainly focused on how you pace yourself, how you keep everybody engaged, and so coming into Consulate here, we're seeing the Thatcher ban. Thatcher is almost kind of the expected ban to have on every comp map just because of the effect that he has in primarily being able to slow down the attackers, which is, I would say, a byproduct of the 20-second meta, as well as the fact that Thatcher really allows so much flexibility in dealing with hard breachers that you don't see otherwise. So having him off the board kind of makes it to where other teams have to practice a little bit harder, and it's not so easy to just get the standard walls open. The Habana ban as well for Consulate is something we don't see all too often. There is kind of an interesting strategy we see employed where you can shoot Habana's pellets in a way that they reflect off onto the garage wall, and they can open up 3 separate holes at a time, which is kind of a way that you can defeat bandit tricking if you don't have a Thatcher. But it works in kind of the same vein as Maverick, but I would say using the Habana trick, as I guess as it's called, is probably only really needed in a situation where you don't have the Habana, or where you don't have the Maverick, rather, and so you're forced to use Habana. So taking a look at the compositions, we've got an interesting pick, Donovic onto the Monty for the basement attack. He's going to switch off. We could see a possible 6-pick here, which would make things pretty interesting. A Monty on garage is something we don't always see. The 6-pick, oh, okay, so over to a Blackbeard. Blackbeard sees a lot of usage, especially in attacking the top floor more often because of how many windows can be set up with the Blackbeard, and it also has to do with the general setup of Consulate. Looking from a top-down perspective here, you can see just how much of a rectangle the map is, and so teams will often, come over here, play on CEO windows with the Blackbeard, and really just focus on applying a lot of pressure so that nobody else is able to sit peacefully inside of CEO. But this isn't a CEO defense. We're looking at the basement, and attacking the basement with the Blackbeard is something I wouldn't say is particularly his strong suit. Blackbeard is more fitted to situations where you can get a lot of different angles, and aside from, maybe seeing Blackbeard play pretty far back here near kind of the basement garage ramp area, he doesn't have a whole lot of applications on basement and garage. So we'll have to see how Donovic plans to use the Blackbeard. Doesn't look like anybody going for an aggressive spawn peek just yet, so they're going to have a little bit of an easier time, Okami, when approaching the building. The hard breaching is going to be left up to the Thermite, with the Maverick being 6th picked off over to the Blackbeard. It's going to be kind of a duo between, I imagine, Thermite and the IQ to use her scanner to remove any of Bandit's shock wires down below. And, ooh, what a strategy here. So we've got a mirror window set up to allow for Bandit to kind of see what's what on the outside of the wall. It gives him some important utility in order to bandit trick maybe more easily. Though I would say one important counterpoint to this strategy is if that window gets open, bandit tricking isn't really something you're going to want to partake in. Donovic going to open things up here. He's going to take down the bandit, and because bandit didn't have any of his shock wires already placed, that is going to deal a massive blow to the structural integrity of the basement bomb site. So now clearing up through Piano, maybe trying to take control of Antechamber and figure out what's what on the vertical hold here for the defenders. But, as we can see, looks like everyone is focused on the downstairs. Blue on Thermite is going to be able to open up the wall. The call will surely be relayed by the Mira player next to Side White. Ooh, some vertical play being opened up. There's breaching charges from the Nomad, allowing for a lot of flexibility. Thermite is pushing in, and he's actually already going for the plant. So that's going to be a real problem. It looks like they don't even know. They're not aware of the plant. Mira's going to try to go for a little bit of spam shot next to her window there. Troy will pick up an important frag, though. He's going to take down Valkyrie, who looked like was at the bottom of Visa stairs, maybe trying to rotate into cafeteria. There's another player. He's going to get the refrag. A little bit too late, though. 25 seconds on the clock for the disable, and good positions already set up for the attackers in the post plant. Not able to connect onto the Nomad, playing vertical. Doc has an opportunity here to stem himself up, but it looks like he's just going to have to play time, and wow. A quick plant here for Okami, just doing an absolutely great job. Doc is going to rotate up the stairs, find 2 picks. It's a triple kill for him, but ultimately, it's going to be worthless. Okami Gaming will take round number 1.
Attacker mission successful.
So I think taking a look at the round, where the real failures came in there was the lack of intel for the bomb and the situation that the bandit dying early caused. Failing to keep him alive, as well as failing to really use any of Bandit's utility, caused a major weakness there on that bomb site, and they're really going to have to totally switch things up if they want a chance to defend that successfully. Another issue that I saw was an overcommitment of archives. It didn't seem like Okami really tried to attack archives at all, and it wasn't really one of their main focuses. And so having 2 players in there for so long without rotating is kind of a failure of communication and coordination that we saw from Team N. And so that would be another area I would say they have to fix. It mainly comes down to knowing where to be to stop the attackers, because winning your gunfights is one thing, but being in a position to stop the attackers from pushing in is kind of, I would say, a totally different beast in how you play that. And a lot of teams struggle to master what I would call the area denial tactics of Siege. Having the smoke is an important operator to consider, but when you're not really using those smoke canisters at all to deny things, it's obviously not going to have any effect. So, coming off of that round now and looking more towards the future, the lineup, once again, for Okami seems to be relatively the same. We've got the Blackbeard, Thermite, and the Nomad, and aside from maybe the Jackal, I think it's pretty much the same. But having the Jackal here could mean just even more of an advantage for Okami. Team N leaving that on the board might be a mistake that they'd come to regret later if the Jackal does have a significant effect. Some good drone work here as well by Okami. They know possibly about the position of these 2 defenders inside of Visa. The Pulse is playing very aggressive, contesting onto the Jackal. He's going to be able to land about 25 damage onto Troy, but doesn't seem like Troy's two-faced. Still holding the angle. He's actually going to prone out here. Go back onto his drone. He now sees that they've rotated out, so he's going to press the advantage. Maybe try and move in here. Looks for some footprints, but he's actually not going to find any. Pulse going for a little bit of lean action, trying to find an angle. He does spot the Jackal, but so does he. Ooh, what a headshot. I'm just better, proving his namesake, shutting down Jackal and earning his team the early man advantage, something we didn't see in the last round. Nomad getting in a position here. Blue gonna find a refrag, shuts down Praise, so that's your smoke off the board. I'm not exactly sure. Ooh, Donovic finding one as well. Not exactly, I don't even know where that player was. I assume maybe the pulse ran out here and that was a little bit of confusion. The IQ already, though, is deep inside of CEO, as well as the Thermite, who is repelled in as well. Skix, I guess is his name, is going to find another pick. I'm Just Better is going to take down one player, but it's not actually the one who was planting the diffuser. Infection going to rotate up to the top of Yellow Stairs. Looks like Pulse coming up Spiral as well. And once again, it's just a point, the post-plant positioning for the attackers. All repelled up. One of Blackbeard's shield's going to get broken, but it's hard to say if that will mean anything just yet. Blue going to find himself a double kill. Skix with one of his own will take down the Pulse player, and Okami Gaming claim their second round of the match. A good job to set up there despite their opening death, they were able to recuperate it, finding a good pick onto the smoke, which led them to, a situation where you can just say, hey, there's no smoke to stop us from pushing in. All they've really got is the pulse, so let's just push in the CEO, attempt for the plant, and then figure things out from there. And it's exactly what Okami did, an excellent execution onto the objective. I have to give props to them. So, with Team N taking another round loss, I think it's important to look at what really led to that. The control of CEO didn't exactly seem too terribly strong for them. I actually didn't think there was any vertical holes opened up to maybe try and deny that plant. And the Pulse's job to deny plant was kind of foiled by the fact that the attackers had pushed so many players inside of CEO. He didn't really have any idea which player it was, and I think, I believe it was the IQ player who did bait out that nitro, might have even been working to try and attempt that bait. He was sitting in what we would normally call deep default. It's next to the connector wall over here, and because teams usually will reinforce the middle of that wall, it kind of creates a strong point almost for the attackers to plant. But there is a couple of weaknesses. Usually teams won't reinforce this kind of adjacent wall near the area we usually call island or baguette. I've heard this is also called. And so you could just soft kind of spam through the wall here and deny that, but ultimately there wasn't enough manpower for them to really even attempt that to reveal the possibility of a plant going on. It's going to be Skix. The opening desk here got taken down by Valkyrie, playing aggressive in circle desk, I believe, so that's going to be a real problem. Your Nomad off the board. What that's going to mean is a little bit more freedom of rotation for the defenders. Not having those air jabs in order to deny. Ooh, Pulse might just try and jump out here. He hears the rappel. He's not looking the right way, though, so he might not hear it at all. Still just holding an angle over outside, sort of near half wall. It's interesting to note they didn't see that window being opened even at all, and I mean, it's fully open. He must have had to rip down that barricade. The window's still in place, so that maybe it confused him a little bit. Donovic will find a refrag. So, a great job trading out kills here for Okami. I have to recognize that. It's partially a reason why they've been able to claim rounds here. He's going to go for, make sure that bullet hole there, or punch hole rather, at the bottom of the wall is clear and nobody's playing. Better safe than sorry to try and wallbang that. It's going to be a rappel in. The IQ charging into the objective will get taken down. It's going to be the Jaeger to claim that kill, but not taken for free. He is on absolute 1 HP here. Man advantage to Team N. A little bit of time for the attackers to still execute, and great use of that utility from Doc to stem up Jaeger. Unfortunately, I think the Jaeger tried to peek there, and so one of the stem pistol shots is going to be wasted. It's hard to really tell if that will be an advantage. Kyle is going to claim himself a afterlife kill. The Claymore will take down I'm Just Better. I assume off of some intel, must have saw those players repelling. They're going to drone out the Valkyrie at the bottom of yellow stairs. Could be a potential drone loss for them, but I think she's just going to rotate up. The Valkyrie opening the window will toss out a nitro, but it's going to be Blue to push up here. He could find a kill. Interesting choice of the laser sight. Could reveal his position to the Valkyrie, who is now aware of the Thermite's position. She's just watching, and she might have even just seen that red dot. She's going to completely just vault over. It's a triple kill for Injax here. The diffuser is well dropped, and it's all up to Troy. He's on Ash. He could do a lot of work here with the R4C, but it's going to be the odds stacked against him. He will push up here through Soda and maybe attempt to claim the diffuser. Valkyrie has long since rotated. Not going to be connecting or attempting to pressure from the top of the staircase. I imagine the diffuser being picked up by Troy will relay that information of his position. A nice shot there from Troy, opening things up. He's got another player on 90 he has to take out, but it's going to be Praise to land the shots as Team N claim their first round. Great job from them, and a nice recovery. Smart angle here, actually, through long desk. I haven't really seen that before, opening that up and watching on through it. So with that round being completed, we have finished the first half of the attacking side for Okami. So now, setting it 2-1, still anyone's game here, I would say. Looking at Team N, it seemed like pretty strong individual plays coming out. We've seen, looking at the kill feed, kind of some strong individual performances in a couple of these early rounds. I'm Just Better notably was able to claim, I believe, a 3K in round number 1, but as we did see, it wasn't able to claim the round because even after finding 3 picks, there was still just really great post-plant positioning from Okami, and so ultimately it didn't really have much of an effect, bar maybe padding his stats a little bit. And then just in the prior round, we saw Injax turning up for his team, finding 3 big kills, most notably the opening spawn kill to take down the Nomad. It didn't seem like the removal of the Nomad had too much effect on how Okami tried to execute. There was the one run out taken by a Claymore, so it didn't really have too much of an effect, to repeat myself here, in how it affected them in the course of the round. But I imagine they're probably going to be more aware of runouts. Seem like Team N are kind of playing this a little bit fast and loose in how they're playing. Now on the middle floor hold for them. There's not really many opportunities for spawn peeking, and to attempt it once again would be a little foolish.
Bomb located by attackers.
So there is the air jabs coming out. Nomad might try and... She actually has already used all of them, so that's good use of utility. Having your Nomad player alive with multiple air jabs still yet to be used can be a real liability, because once she dies, you're not able to just pick those up and use them after the course of the round has already been ran. It's going to be Repels, probably the name of the game here. Donovan damaged the mute. I guess that's not Mr. 1111. A little bit of a wordy name. 3 players stacked up on yellow here is kind of an interesting decision. Nitro tossed out will fail to connect onto Kyle, and still continuing to peek this very aggressively. I think the defenders kind of need to slow down a little bit here. If they continue to play aggressive, it's going to lead to situations where opening picks can happen very easily, and that's exactly what we'll see. Troy gets taken out on the refrag, so some good plays still for them. Looks like Donovic is aware of this defender. He will claim 1 pick, pushing down the stairs once again, spots the back of Valkyrie, completely oblivious to Donovic. That is an unfortunate play, and now the man advantage secure for the defenders. Donovic will bring his gun up to aim and look to take down the player now rotated inside a bathroom. It's going to be Jaeger. A lot of pressure is being put onto him, and the smoke player just looking for an opportunity to claim a kill. He will toss a smoke canister out, but it fails to detonate as the kill is collected. Infection will find one, taking down the thermite player blue, but it's still a real problem if he wants to win this here. He's going to find another one. Somehow, some way, this is looking winnable for the Jaeger. Spots. Ooh, I don't think he spotted the foot of the IQ there. Might have intel on her position. Just unsure about things just yet. He's going to have to take out this player on rappel if he wants to defuse. He will spot the IQ landing the shot. It's a triple kill for him, but with time so low, hitting the air jab, launched out into the waiting arms of Skix as he collects the kill and secures a round for Okami. Now up 3-1 so far in this match. So far, looking at that last round, the Nomad's usefulness that I might have neglected in analyzing round number 3 really showed off in that last situation. Being able to get so many kills, Infection absolutely gunning down the attackers from Okami, but ultimately getting shut down by that air jab and launched out. That's got to be frustrating for them and might actually have a little bit of a tilting factor for them. And so staying calm and collected in order to collect some more rounds is going to really be important for their mental state continuing in the rest of this match. So we will be seeing, looks like a basement defense once again. Looking at the lineup, maybe a little bit more intel ops, I would suggest. Seeing something like a Maestro come out, that could be helpful in deciding if they're able to figure out when they're actually planting. We see Maestro played a lot. I'd have to go back and double check. He might be banned, so that could be a major contributing factor. But there's still, multiple other opportunities. You could see maybe playing a Mozzie to get some early drones taken down, because that kind of works in 2 ways. are able to reduce the amount of drones to the attackers, and if you're able to gain control of them for yourself, that's really kind of the golden trophy here for being able to deny intel. Another thing you might look at is maybe for the dock, switching from the barbed wire over to a deployable camp. That could provide some good intelligence as well, and there is a lot of really important lanes to set up for it. The thermite is going to be setting down an exothermic charge, and because there's no hard anti-breach utility from the defense, it's going to be open freely. So that's a very early advantage for the attackers. Blue going to run up to the wall and open it on the left side now to provide even more of an angle inside of the objective. There are many teams in Siege who are able to defend basement without the presence of a bandit, but we'll have to wait and see if Team N are one of those teams. A lot of the defenders are stacked up here inside a cafeteria as well as back of white. Thermite going to watch for the dock, see if he peeks out. He's not exactly lined up for the headshot, so if the dock is ready for this, he could cause some real problems. It's going to be the Vigil to find the first pick. Takes down Kyle, that's your Nomad, or rather your IQ off the board. Important to say, early pick for them. IQ can do a lot of damage. Troy is going to get taken out as well. Vigil continues to do a lot of work for his team on this upstairs roam, and the failure to clear it out is still causing issues for the execute from Okami. Team N look to be in a good position to take this round. The Valkyrie will find one pick, taking down Sledge, so that's a part of your soft breaching off the board, and it leaves it all up to Blue. He's got a 1v5 situation to tangle with. The odds are really not in his favor here, and he's going to have to do a lot of work if he wants to win this. Jumping into the window here, the Vigil jumping outside of the building does not get collected. If he had been able to find that pick, could have been pretty good for them in opening that up, but looks like it's not going to be successful. Still just waiting. The Jaeger will peek around the corner, landing his shots, and it's a flawless round for Team N. Taking a look at how they were able to win here, I think it's important to note I'm Just Better was able to get 2 important picks, as well as, I believe it was Injax, found 2 in the middle floor. So, ultimately, I think strong, like I mentioned, individual play has been super, I think, just effective. Looking at kind of the kill spreads between these two teams, it looks like over on the side of Team N, a little bit more lopsided. I'm Just Better in Jackson Infection leading the way with pretty decent kills, whereas on the other hand, Okami is more evenly split. Donovic notably leading the way, as well as a couple other players pretty much doing, you know, the exact same amount of work.
And defuse as many bombs as they can.
So after that basement successful defense for them, they're going to have to go up to the top floor, rotating sites now. Looking kind of what led them to the win in the last round over in the basement was how effectively they played on the top floor. They spent a lot of time really wasting the utility of the attackers to kind of clear them out, as well as just taking out players. I mean, there's not really much else you can do to secure a round when all your players are dead.
5 seconds to go. Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
So, the prep phase is concluded, and it is now time for the attackers to push up here. They're going to need to secure probably horizontal pressure from the window again, but I think Team N, they've got to be ready for this. They've seen how it plans out, or how it really affects them, and they're going to need to figure out a strategy where they're able to defend this successfully. One important note is this wall from yellow is still reinforced. I think having that open could be a really important gateway to be able to deny plant, with the pulse gone now in favor of the Vigil. There is really not a whole lot of denial. We have 2 nitro cells. It's going to be Injax as well as not Mr. I'm just going to call him not Mr. 1 with the Oh no. Skix. Not watching the window angle. Skix will be rewarded. Gets himself a pick, and that's part of your denial down. Injak's one of the strongest performing players down already. Donovic is going to have a shot from Cade landed onto him. It's going to deal about 25 damage, and so it's going to be a little bit of a warning there. The doc will run out, it looks like, from Visa, not rewarded with any kill. Didn't seem like it was very many players available. The Nomad, I think because of her position, was just out of reach of that angle. Blue, though, will now begin the plant. A smoke grenade being tossed out as well is going to block a sight line through the door of Island, and that's successful. Diffuser is planted. With 5v4 right now, it's surprising to see the Diffuser go down. Infection struggling to deal with a couple of these players. I'm Just Better will pry up from yellow stairs, finding one pick to shut down Donovic. He's got a couple of his teammates to assist with, and the man advantage for neither team, but the health on the board for Team N is going to be a real issue. I'm Just Better will jump out, landing one shot. It's a double kill for him, cleaning up the player Blue repelling, but with so little time left, nobody to defend the Diffuser. He will spot the Ash, but it's 9, 8, 7 seconds. The Diffuser time elapsed and the round secured for Okami. An unfortunate series of events here, reclaiming the bomb site, but the ultimate effect of it not being successful. Okami will take round number 6 and end the half 4-2. So that is the first half of this match done for. It's going to be Okami coming out on top, but not without a fight. Team N have really been putting up a lot of work against them. I'm Just Better, notably already achieving double digits in 6 rounds. Doing a great job. I believe that's something like a 3.5 KPR average, so he's doing really just phenomenal work for his team. Taking a look at Okami, once again, it's really just the story of every player doing their job. Taking control of the map, I think, is one of Okami's most strongest advantage. They've been able to just push up, it seems, in all of their successful rounds and get some good sight lines established. In the last round, those 2 sight lines were Donovic, set up on yellow stairs, watching through the door of connector to deny any player inside of projector. And the other angle, I don't exactly remember which player it was, might have been the IQ position at the end of 90, or end of long as it's called, in this end of hall position, which is also known as Soda. Holding the angle down all the way to Island, made sure that nobody was able to rotate in for the defuse, and it also allowed for this player inside of Cubby to remain alive and continue pressuring. Even though they did eventually die in Cubby, what happened was so much time was wasted that even when the defenders reached the bomb diffuser, they didn't have enough time to disable it. So, a little bit of a retro setup here. Holding inside of, I believe you just call this, I don't know, maybe staff room or kitchen probably, as well as the Jaeger inside of admin. And looks exactly like Team N's plan. They're going to try to push in here. I want to get over to the Jaeger and watch him, see if he maybe attempts to engage with I'm Just Better, who's on the upside down rappel. Still unable to spot him. Injax and Zofia are going to just rotate off of the admin push and not even a try to really put any pressure on it. Now, she's going to try and peek projector. This might be a good idea. She's got the ACOG, so she does have an opportunity to take down Blue. The IQ also might be looking to rappel down here, so we could see the potential for a projector push. Ooh, almost able to find it here. Gonna wall bang the desk, but ooh, Blue will peek up and land it. I'm Just Better, the star player for Team N, taken down, and what is probably the best advantage Okami could have asked for in this early round. Taking a look elsewhere on the map, it seems like we've mostly just got a big focus on rappel. Injax just droning things out downstairs in Piano. His drone will get taken out, and he is off to the races, racing up to the top of yellow stairs. He spots the smoke, manages to down him. He might not have that information. He's going to spot the edge of the head, not Mr. 11 is going to find another opening pick here. Or just one additional kill for Team Men. Despite the fact their star player is down, Team Men are saying that we don't rely on him and we can do everything ourselves. Legion could possibly deny it here. Injax will find another one, so that is Legion down. Now just up. Ooh, another one's a double kill for Infection, taking down Troy and Blue. Team N equalize here. Actually, not just quite yet. 4-3, but they're really on their way to equalize. And despite the fact their star player went down so early, Team N really doing a great job to figure things out for themselves on the offense. And I think they're looking even better switching sides here than they were on defense. So with that round concluding, we will be heading into our next one just shortly. Some things to look out for are maybe an adjustment from Okami on the top floor setup. I still think they might have played that a little bit poorly, especially taking down I'm Just Better. Could have been in a great position to take that round. Maybe not trying to contest from Projector. They could have gotten maybe a little bit more passive. And I have to say probably something to do with overconfidence coming down to the end of that round and how Team N were able to take it. Seemed like Okami, just every gunfight they were taking, they were losing aside from that very first opener. And really just the committing to over-aggressive plays from Team N, which normally we would see fail, absolutely worked. So something they could look at in terms of how to defeat Okami moving forward, and replicating the same attack on this objective as we return to the top floor could be the idea that they want. It's going to be a very quick rush. Infection charging into the garage will establish basement control, at least for the west side, and I think we're seeing a yellow stairs rush. Ooh, Buck trying to open the floor there, but can't exactly breach that up through yellow, so isn't exactly aware of that. Infection is taking a lot of the basement control. He's going to push up yellow stairs from the basement, possibly just immediately move up and contest onto Coffin. There is, I believe, one player inside of it. Nope, not exactly inside of it, but Kyle is still very close to it, and he can probably contest it nonetheless if the Ash does push up. Rotating inside of admin, he's going to open up the hatch, and decision probably made on the back of intel of Infection, who is now down inside bottom Visa stairs. He begins to creep up. He can hear the SMG rattle away. Able to connect. Blue is taken down. He's inside of the objective now. Projector control taking a significant amount of damage from an angle being held all the way down near Island. He will find another pick. Kyle is off the board. Skix, though, taken down. Equalized. Donovic eliminates Infection. It's a 3v3, though. More kills coming out. It's a refrag city as Troy takes down I'm Just Better, who had himself taken down Donovic. There's multiple players just absolutely trying their best to get refrags. Praise, though, already inside. He's going to begin to feel the pressure from Smoke, who lobs a canister deep inside. I'm trying to get his position here. He will toss another one out. That's going to force him to rotate. Already on low health. Skix will claim a double kill, the last remaining attacker on the Projector balcony. Pops into the window, pre-firing. Visa stares, doesn't spot Jaeger, who is now aware and will relay the intel of the Blackbeard's position. Blackbeard repeats at taking a ton of damage. Blackbeard, though, his shield cracks. It breaks, and Troy lands the headshot. The back of the 416, the powerful carbine, does its job as it secures another round for Okami Gaming. One thing to note, it doesn't really seem like there's been very much use of six picks from either of these teams, aside from what we saw in the very first round, which was a six pick from a Maverick over towards a Blackbeard. So maybe that decision is made with the thought that, they already know what we're going to switch over to, so why try that again? I think six picking can be really underrated in how teams will look at your lineup psychologically. A lot of teams will see, maybe a pick like a blitz and just think, oh, that's obviously got to be a six pick. But the thought in the back of your mind that a team might be bringing an operator like blitz can really start to eat away at the foundation of your team's ability to defend, really, and kind of think how you're going to attack it, or how you're going to defend against that, really, if you look at it. So maybe the decision to try something like that is lost for either of these teams, but we haven't really... it's hard to really say what effect that would have. I think Infection and the rest of his team over at Team N could really benefit from that. Maybe switching from an operator like Ash to something that would make you think they're going to go for a more soft, kind of slow clear. But it seemed like every round, the story of the Team N offensive push is just open things up and push in. Move quick. Infection's failure to clear below here could cause them some real problems if Troy is aware. The Ash has already dropped, though, and so if Infection gets taken down in this angle, that could be a real issue. I actually think Infection is aware. It looks like he's just watching through the doorway, so it's kind of a situation where you're right on the edge of a gunfight, but neither team wants to make the first move. He's going to rotate now, and I think Troy really has the upper hand here. He could very easily go for a wall bang. Skix will find an opening pick, which what it does is makes the Ash even more fearful. Is she ever going to receive support from her teammates to be able to come out of that position? Jaeger finally will rotate out, so I don't think he ever was truly aware of the Ash inside of Engine. Awesome job by the Bandit on the wall to just continue having that up. None of the Bandit shock wires have been removed at all, really. I mean, Kyle has all three on the wall as well as the one in his pocket. Infection has finally moved out of that spot. He will headshot landed onto Troy. Going to open up as well. Kyle, though, refragging. I'm just better. The Buck player is down. So the player inside of Pipes is given a free opportunity to rotate. Kyle will find one. It's a double kill for him. Ooh, though, the Mira Donovic is going to be able to stop the Ash player at every opportunity. Infection still just waiting here. He's going to open up the door from over towards security hallway. Looks like he was a little bit wary of maybe a push from the engine hatch. But now Skix has rotated down to the bottom of Small Spiral, so he could cause some real problems if Infection tries to push up. The other attacker rotates down. Looks like the Ash is, whoa, well aware of it. Spots Skix, and it really just by a hair headshots him. The Mira taken down as well. It's Infection with a triple kill on the Ash, doing a ton of work, and it looks like we might be able to see a plant here. A wallbang will take down Blue, coming around the corner. Infection lands the shot to claim himself an ace. Team N will take a round. Infection in a spectacular fashion to claim the round here. What an awesome job from him. Team N on the brink of losing that round absolutely come roaring back. Infection doing absolutely a humongous amount of work. I can't give him enough praise for what he just did.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Once again, we return to the action here as Okami Gaming are 1 round away from achieving match point. If they're able to take this one here, they would guarantee themselves at least a tie for our first Playday, which, if any of the other teams take victory, would put them somewhere near the middle of the scoreboard. So, not exactly the best position. I imagine Okami probably are going to want to be the leaders of the pack, especially after just coming off of a playoffs victory, taking our trophy here as the champions of Pleb Season 1.
5 seconds to insertion.
A roam, once again, looks to be the plan for Skix on the top floor, but one thing to note is it seemed like the roam from Team N, while they were defending the basement, was a lot more focused towards having multiple players, whereas Skix is kind of just a lone wolf. What that does is it removes one player from the site, so your objective isn't exactly as weak, which would cause real issues, I think, because Team N just like to push into the building and take things like crazy. But having one roamer for teams that are more cautious kind of sets up where you need to move slowly, clear things out in a procedural process. Maybe a wallbang here. I'm just better trying to land maybe some shots on the Skix. It's going to give him maybe some intel to relay to his team, but I don't think... Oh, what a shot! Team N just continued to show absolute superiority in terms of gun skill. Shutting down the Vigil, that's your roam, just caught dead. Right now, I'm just better in Infection, leading the way, both achieving double digits, almost getting 30 combined between themselves. And it seems like they're just absolutely on a roll that cannot be stopped. Infection will open up some of the hatches inside of circled desks, and that will give some good pressure, which kind of will suffocate the rotate. Donovic, though, a nitro cell up through the hatch, shuts down Infection. That's one of your playmakers dead for Team N, so it's going to be switching over here. I'm just better is going to have to be on his best gun skill. It's going to be Kyle in kind of a bad spot there. He's forced to rotate out from side white. The wall does get opened up, so that is one significant sight line available for the attackers. Praise as well has a good drone here below White Van, which is going to spot out the players from Okami and continue to provide intel for the course of the round as we now approach the 55-second mark. Injax is going to go down by the hands of Troy on Jaeger. The goo mine is hit by the player outside. A thermite on the wall as Troy finds another one. He shuts down I'm Just Better. That's your Zofia off the board. And Okami are looking to push forward and find themselves at least the tie, like I mentioned at the beginning of the round. So 4v2 right now. Blue and Troy are on very low health, so there's kind of some opportunities here for this team to begin to do some work. Not Mr. 11 will find his first pick as he shuts down Kyle. The Blackbeard shield proving too insurmountable to shut down. He charges down Visa Stairs, but right now, Praise and not Mr. 11 are separated. Blue will find one off screen as Troy collects it. It's going to be the body shots from the 416, defeating the Blackbeard shield and ultimately securing a match point for Okami Gaming. Despite Team N's star performers, still Okami look to be ahead here. We'll have to see what comes into the next one. So into our potential final round here. If Team N wants the draw, they're going to have to continue to fight and get these next 2 rounds. If not, Okami have their own set of 2 opportunities to close things out with a win. So we're up to the top floor. Taking a look in the past, it seemed like Team N were mostly in the driver's seat. They managed to take, I believe, 2 of 3 times we saw this bomb site played for the defense. I can't exactly be sure of that. It's hard to say, but with them attempting it once again, I don't think there's really anything that you can say to decide whether or not they'll win or lose. Infection and I'm Just Better have really figured out kind of some good synergy that if they are able to achieve in an individual round, they can really just go a long way to defeat any strategy. The hatch opened up. I'm not sure if that was by accident, but having that open, what it does is kind of softens your ability to defend projector. You can just toss a grenade up through the hatch and maybe take down one of the players in the position behind the couch here, which I believe is known as Pro. Look at this 5-man stack on admin. Troy just not going to even attempt it. He gives up. Praise is already in, taking a ton of damage from Kyle. He's proned out now, so he's going to have a little bit more cover. Try to get a view of him. He's going to toss an impact. Fails to down or really damage, I think, any player. He does spot the head of the Twitch, trying to find the shot, but he's not able to connect as Injax finds the first one. This position is absolutely compromised with no route for escape here. He will find one. That's a real problem. He is actually, ooh, no, not able to escape. Injax collects it, but having one player go down here, that is an unfortunate loss for them. Still, the attackers have the advantage for the man count right now, sitting at 4-3. Infection and I'm Just Better both alive here, so they have really some good opportunities to frag out with 3 defenders alive. The wallbang, though, oh, a little bit unlucky there. Blue will find one. That's your Zofia down, not being able to connect onto Donovic here behind the table. I think it's really just the awkward nature of how soft breaching works with that table, denying what should have been arguably a kill onto Infection. Smoke canister tossed out. It's 1 minute and 5 seconds on the clock as Thermite opens up the Visa Stairs wall. Will allow him an angle deep into projector. Narrowly lines up with the player through the wall inside of connector as Donovic stims himself up from damage he took earlier in the round. So anyone's round here. I said it before, say it again. Injax finds 1 kill. It's a triple for him. He charges into the objective. It's going to be another player going down. 1v3 here. Skix on the smoke. He's going to try and get 1 pick. Prone's out here. Spots Infection, who is now pushed up inside a connector, though. Infection lands the shots as TMN secure round number 11 and move us to the final round, number 14. Number 15, actually. 12. What am I thinking? We're not in overtime here. We're on round number 12, and it's time to see whether or not Okami takes the win or Team N suffers the tie. Maybe a little bit of 6-pick action. We will see it. Sledge over to Blackbeard and the Goyo to a Mute. Goyo to a Mute is an interesting change. Oh, I'm Just Better's actually going to reconsider it. Going from Sledge to Blackbeard, now finally to his confirmed operator of Buck. Seems like he's had some good luck playing Buck in the past. No pun intended. And he will have to continue here. It hasn't really seemed like some of these individual players from Team N have done exactly all the work that might be expected of them, and it's kind of, looking at the scoreboard, it's incredibly lopsided. Infection with 16-6, Praise with 1-6, and really, I don't know how smart it is to rely on individual players as much as they have been. Maybe in a best of 3 that could be more viable, but here in a situation where it's best of 1 with just straight to a 6-6 tie, there's really not a whole lot of opportunities for that reliance that we can often see from a team like Team N. But, you know, this is just the first game of our season, and as it is a best of 1, it's really kind of down to a random factor. You can't exactly decide things very easily, and even it's hard to decide which team is superior in a best of 1. Rounds and momentum can be a huge factor to determine who takes out the win, and when your whole map, your whole victory is decided by which map you're playing on, there's really just a lot of volatility here. Once again, it is a heavy admin take for the attackers. Troy is going to look to contest here, playing aggressively. He's going to get spotted out, but he takes a Twitch drone. Hard to say what advantage that will give him. Ooh, he goes prone here. Will Infection be able to spot it? He's going to rotate upside down, or rather right side up. Maybe at the wrong time. He could have spotted the feet of Jaeger and gotten a pick onto him. Gridlock is still trying to find him here, though. Troy finally taken down. Infection with his 17th pick of the game will take down admin pressure. Still just trying to repel. I think this strategy that Okami have been running is kind of understood by Team N now. It looks like he can't exactly fit through the rotate hole. That could cause some real issues if he gets caught out here and is not able to rotate. Imagine his best plan is probably just to quickly sprint around the corner and maybe come in through near Soda. He will charge out here, but once again, Infection catches him out as he gets the 18th kill mark. This has got to be some kind of record for one map. Injax finds another one. Blue is off the board, and Team Ben are headed straight towards a tie. Donovic has to find a place to rotate now. Ooh, what a pick. Skix takes down I'm Just Better. The nice headshot. Still, though, man advantage and the better positioning established. Chooses to rotate maybe at the right time. One player inside of Soda. Donovic will try to remove the gridlocks. Ooh, he lands the shot. It's just looking winnable, though, as Infection finds his 21st kill. It's actually his 20th kill. He secures the draw for Team N. It's a 6-6 tie. Such a close match, going absolutely back and forth. And ultimately, fortunately, we really just ended a draw. Not really anything we like to see. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into our broadcast tonight. It was a ton of fun to cast this one, even if I had to do it solo. But that will be it for our first match of Pleb League. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to see the broadcast. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you, and I'll catch you in the next one.
do to make you